I almost didn't hit the go live button. So, all right. Get everything pulled up here. We got big slate today, man. We're rocking 12 games. What do you think of 12 game slates? What's your take on them?
I kind of like them just because ownership tends not to matter as much, so you kind of just play whoever you want.
Accepted pitching today.
Yeah.
You looked at ownership recently?
Yeah, I seen that.
Yeah, so we'll get into that here while everybody gets in. But I agree on the bat side. I think we're gonna be okay. But man, some of this pitching ownership is things that make you go hum. Like I just don't get it on this big a slate. So, yeah, interesting spot. Well, I'm gonna start with pitching today, and kind of just start rocking through. And let's just go to the elephant in the room, and let's talk about Freddie. I get it's Freddie, and I get the Rays haven't been good, but he's the most expensive pitcher, and on a 12-team slate right now, he's over 40% owned. That is insanity to me with this many pitchers today.
Yeah, there's a lot of pitchers that could outscore him. I mean, I like Freddie. Who doesn't? But I think you can definitely get under the field on Freddie today.
Yeah, and I mean, like give me like some Rays lineups. Like if he's going to be, almost double the most owned pitcher on the slate, even if he's 50% more the most owned, than everybody else on the slate, like you have to play like some Rays on principle. Like I get they haven't done well, but man, like that's a spot on a 12 game slate where you completely can flip the slate. Like if you take a very low owned hitting team, which the Rays are, the Rays are nothing. Like nobody owns them right now. Like, and they go, like you're going to be so massively ahead, no one's going to catch you. Like that's how you take down big 12 game slates, in my opinion. Even in single entry, is just, go fade something like that. I'm gonna go with some of my faves today. I really like Lopez. I've been throwing him all season. I liked him when he was 7,500 before he was 9,500. It was a lot more fun. But we've seen Seattle's strikeout rate and that game total. I said it yesterday in my write-up. Something was, one I said on the show, pitch Miller, and he crushed. But the line was 7.5, and it's back there again today, right? That line again's only 7.5. So it makes me kind of like both sides, Castillo and Lopez. I could even see just stacking that game and then going bat somewhere else. It's a little pricey. It's also wild to me that Ronaldo Lopez is $900 more than Luis Castillo today.
Yeah, it's a weird price. I have interest in both too. Like you said, it's a low game total. Lopez is a slight favorite. Really, I like both pitchers today.
Same. What are you thinking of Mr. Keller today against the A's?
I don't know. He's so inconsistent that at his ownership, I planned on not really playing him unless you could talk me into it.
I'm not talking you into it. I'm the other way. Like he's $8,800. He's projecting to be the second highest owned pitcher. Again, this is the race thing. Like, give me some cheap A's. Give me some small side A stacks, and go fade him, and he can go away. And it's my issue is Smitty said he's a coin flip, right? Could he strike out 9? Sure. Could he get rocked for 6 in 3 innings? Yes. Like that's the problem with Keller, right? Like he's too big a coin flip for me there. Guys, I like Woods Richardson. It's the Sox. Nobody's starting him. He's super low owned. Like he's probably my favorite under 8,500 or so, anybody that's not high price, like he's by far my favorite, and he might be my favorite pitcher on the slate today.
Yeah, I like him as well. I like him and Cole Reagans. They're sitting there about the same ownership. I like both of them.
Yeah, Cole's $7,800. Guys, it's Cole Reagans. You might be able to look back and say, because I said today, like Cole's going to be like totally ownership driven for me. right? If he's 30%, I don't want any. At sub 5 at $7,800, like that is like sign me up, right? All of a sudden you throw Simeon Woods and Cole, and you're only 14.8 into pitching on two guys that have the K upside to break the slate. Like it's that the Cole's wild to me. I'm really not into Barrios. I'm just not a Barrios guy. I'm just never ever really gonna throw him. Not my cup of tea. Webb's more highly owned than I want against the Sox. It makes me want to throw some Sox bats as much as I love my Giants. I just I just don't like him there. I like Gray a little bit, 7,300. I'll probably have, I'm looking at some exposure to Gray. I can't decide what to do with Jamont is my one other guy that's up there price wise that I can't. If he's under 2%, Dodgers just haven't hit yet. Like they haven't. So where are you at with those guys?
Yeah, I don't mind any of them. I like Gray. Aside from his first start, he's been really good. I like Manea some. He's kind of in like a no man's price point. And then my gross punt, I kind of like Nick Martinez.
Okay, like I can see both sides. I mean, he's $6,400, right? Like,
yep.
I mean, at that price point, right? Like, I'm not throwing Soraka. I'm not throwing Carrasco. I'm not throwing Wood. I'm definitely not throwing Anderson or Brito. If you throw Hunter Brown, you're a lunatic. Like, listen. If you follow me, I love Hunter Brown. I like the kid. I think he has a ton of long-term potential. I think he's going to be a great pitcher in the league. He's struggling right now, though. And until he can show me otherwise is there. The fact he's even going up makes me like Cleveland anymore. And then, I'm fading Gore. I don't want any Turnbull. Turnbull's $9,100. Like, that just doesn't excite me at all. I don't hate same Assad's in that dead man's land for me. I like him, but he's $8,400. If I'm playing GPP, I probably have some exposure to him, but single entry 3 max, I probably won't get there today.
Yeah, I'm in the same boat.
Yeah, I can appreciate that. Well, we're starting to get some lineups in, which is looking good. So let's start looking at some lineups. See what we got going. So yeah, I mean, I think Salvi should be back in for KC today. I really like Cole versus them. It's the same. That total's 7.5. It makes me like them. I get the Jays haven't struck out a ton against lefties, but man, those righty bats have, he's really good against righties, and they're going to have a bunch in there. So I'm definitely going. I'll be shocked if Raggins doesn't make my SE today.
Yeah, same here. He's just too cheap, especially at his ownership. I'll take that all day.
Yep. I'm done with the Mets for a little bit. I just can't get him right, and I kind of like Assad. He's pretty decent against righties. The Cubs lineup's weird. I mean, they stacked righties. I get why they did what they did. But right, that lineup one, it's tough without Belly in there, and then they're not going to have Bush today, so I'm not going to have any exposure to the Cubs.
Yeah, me neither. I think Manaea's been good. I lean the Manaea side of that.
Yep. And then same like Webby's ownership. I like Tyler O'Neill one off, maybe some Duran, some Rafi, especially at third base, because third base is like there's only a couple players I like at third today. I'm not really interested in the Giants. I just don't think they have. I don't think they have enough gas. As much as it's sad to say, like, that game doesn't. There's nothing about that game that gets me excited tonight.
No, me neither. I was hoping Webb would come in lower owned, but at his ownership, he just don't have the K upside for me. He's not gonna make you lose. So I just don't really have interest.
Yeah, I mean, it's that, right? Like, I love Webby. He doesn't have 10K upside versus that lineup. That's as bad as that lineup. I say that, and he's going to go strike out 12 just to shut me up. But that's not there. And then, we got what I think you're just going to have some exposure to today is the Twins. Soraka and that pin, like, just again, know that they can pinch hit because that's what they do. But man, they just stacked that front with most a ton of lefties and um, hard to. I really like a bunch of those bats there.
Yeah, I really like the Twins today, and then on FanDuel they're even cheaper, so it's going to be pretty hard to get away from them. Just the value they provide.
Yeah, my issue on FanDuel is I can only play 4 of them. Like that's going to be my
Yeah.
tough, right? Like
Yep.
that's like kind of my tough choice there. Like where do I want to go? Right. But I mean, Julian Jeffers, probably Krylov, and then, go from there and decide on the 4 I want to go. I don't hate dropping down to Willie Castro, on a 5 stack just to get a little different if I don't stack the top 6. But I like that side. We talked about the Rays. We got that lineup in. I mean, I like it. Give me that top half. And I don't hate Siri today down at the bottom to wrap around. But give me 1 through 4, maybe some Siri. I kind of, like I said, Freddie. It's just Freddie's ownership's too much, man. Like it's too high on a 12-game slate for me.
Yeah, I don't mind the Rays at all. Probably just mini stacks, but I don't mind them.
Yep, I'll probably get there. I don't know that I'll do much with Milwaukee today. They're just kind of in between for me. Where are you going to be at on the GPP side?
I will be overweight on the Brewers. Just depends on their lineup, but they're just really cheap. Like Perkins, Weimer's min price, Gary Sanchez is only 3,000, and then Reese Hoskins. I really like him today.
Yeah, I mean he crushes lefties, so that'll be a good spot to get some exposure. I like this Nats Rangers game, right? Like I talked about, I like Gray, but Abrams is just killing the ball, right? So I get if you're going to play Abrams, he's almost a must play. And Mackenzie Gore's just bad. Like he's just not been great, and this is a spot I could see the Rangers really light him up and get into that pin.
Yeah, I like the Rangers today. They're one of my favorite stacks. Adolis Garcia is probably one of my favorite hitters on the slate overall. And they also I like Davis Wenzel at the bottom of the lineup too.
Yeah, I mean he's only $2,200. It's so cheap, hard to pass up. Langford's starting to get going. He's only $3,800. Like that helps offset Garcia and Seager and Simeon's pricing. And keep in mind, I probably don't go low, even though they're starting him. Just that lefty on lefty. I probably get down to Langford, Wenzel, those kind of guys. Next up, I love me some Guardians today. They're just not owned. Smith hasn't been good. The Astros are a little bit messy. I like him on both sides. I like Bo's one of my favorite catchers today. I like his brother. I like J-Ram. Give me Quan. I'm undecided to go big or low on them. They might end up on my smaller side, but I almost might go 4-4 today on DK2, just because, or 3-3-3. There's some mini stacks and kind of stacking around a few hitters from each game.
Yeah, I like the Guardians some, and I like the Astros as well. I mean, Carrasco is going to retire eventually, so I like Jordan today. I mean, who doesn't? Astros look pretty good, but as the highest owned stack, they're probably not my favorite.
Yeah, single entry 3 max, right? They're super owned. I'm just not going to go there. I'd rather go to the next game and go to the Phillies, right? I'd rather give me the Phillies versus Tyler Anderson if I'm going for some ownership. Played Bomb one-off last night, which was great, but the Dodgers didn't get it done for me enough. And but I like that, man. Tyler Anderson, I mean, has not been good. Their pen is bad. It's one of the better weather games, right? It's 70. The wind's 9 to 10 out. JT will be back tonight. It could be really hard to not have some access to that Philly lineup for me.
Yeah, I like both teams a little bit. The Phillies look good. like you said, Bohm, he's been one of the hottest hitters in baseball right now. And then
Yep.
the Angels, I kind of have some interest going against Turnbull. I wanted to bet the over in this game. I just didn't pull the trigger yet, but I like Trout as always, and I like Joe Adele. He's been swinging a good bat.
Yeah, I mean, Adele's still only $3,100, and he's just crushing the ball. So again, right, like that's another way you can game stack. Dodgers, D-backs. I don't know what to do with them at this point. I don't know. The over under is 9.5. The bullpen's bad. I'm probably just going to pass on the Dodgers tonight unless I pull a one off.
Yeah, I plan on being pretty light on the Dodgers. I think they're fine, but I prefer the Diamondback side of it. They're cheaper, and I think they're going to come out and beat the Dodgers. I think the Dodgers bullpen isn't very good. Knack's not going to go very long, so I kind of like the D-backs to get going.
Yeah, I like McCarthy at $3,600 at the top of that lineup. You know, if he gets on, he's going to get you a couple stolen bases. He's cheap. He offsets that in there. So, and I'm still off Corbin. He's still $5,100. He's still batting eighth until he gets going there. We talked about, you know, I want to finish seeing the A's lineup. But, you know, I like Langoliers. I like Rooker. I like Bleday. Maybe a little Butler today. It depends on, you know, what they come out with lineup wise.
Yeah, I like the A's today. I'm pretty into the A's and Pirates. I kind of like this game, even though it's only a 7 total. I still kind of like both teams.
Yeah, that's the only thing that scares me. These last 3 games, their totals all low,
Yeah.
which is surprising for the West Coast games. That's me for the next game. I really like the Padres today versus Nick Martinez because of their price. Like Xander's 4,500, Tatis is 5,300, Jake's 42, Manny's only 5, Profar's only 37, Kim's 43. Like they're just priced right. And I get that total's low, but man, $5,300 Tatis is just always going to be sexy to me.
Yeah, it's just too cheap. Yeah, the Padres are cheap. They're probably one of the cheapest premium stacks you can get to. So I like that.
And then, right, you can game stat that, right? Ellie's just being Ellie. He's on fire. He's in play every day, right? You know he's going to K, but if he gets on, he's gone, right? And again, like Brito doesn't bring terror into anybody's anybody's being, and their pin isn't good. So I don't know how much, you know, single entry 3 max I'll get there, but this is one where I talk about, right? Like getting 3, 3, and 3, it'll go there. And then that last game we talked about, I kind of like both pitcher sides. You know, the under dropped to 7. It was at 7.5 here. It's down to 7. We saw what happened last night. I can see the same thing happening again today with Castillo and Lopez.
Yeah, I'm not really into either offense here. Maybe a one-off here and there, but really no interest.
Yeah, there's nobody that really is like, okay, wow, I really want to play this guy today. You know, it's just, it's nothing there is exciting me at that price. So, you know, they'll have, you know, again, 7, 7.5. I try to avoid a little of those on these biggest slate, those low sum games. So, so while it's not on the main slate, my moonshot today is Mr. Mountcastle. In case you're unaware, he's up there with one of the hottest hitters in baseball, and he murders lefties. Cortez is going to hang one up there, and he's going to hit that thing. He's going to hit it not out of center or right. He's going to hit it out of left field.
I'm going with Edward Julian. I like him to keep it going. He's swinging a hot bat, and I like him again today.
Yeah, and hey, if you're playing that earlier slate, Westberg's batting 5th today. They moved Westy up to 5th. Now they've increased his price. You know, they got him and Kowser both, you know, over $5,000 now, but that's a nice little spot to start if you're playing the earlier slate. So, and that Marlins lineup is ugly, man. I would actually consider throwing Feltner. That's how ugly that Marlins lineup is.
And they're bad.
It's bad. I mean, Burger's not even playing today. Like that lineup's gross. So free to hit us up in Discord. You know, we'll have some adjustments as we get a few more of the later lineups here. I think we're going to be close to having most of it before lock. I mean, we got a lot of them already. You know, I think we'll be pretty close to knowing what we got. And part of the reason I like the stack side today of going smaller is I want to set myself up for maybe a little late swap today. Like I said, we like a few of the earlier games. You know, if I get access to some of the Twins and Phillies, you know, that'll give me, you know, or Guardians, that'll give me access to like Philly, you know, A's, you know, some of these later games tonight. Cool. All right. Well, we're going to go have a good week. Thank you. And we'll see you all in Discord.